friends, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing and building the Wright Cyclone Radial engine C9HE in 1/12 scale from ATLANTIS Models. I'd like to thank my friends over at ATLANTIS for sending this into the channel, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this kit with all of you. I've wanted to showcase one of their STEM kits, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, on the channel for a long time now. I'm a firm believer that building scale models is a great way to learn about the subjects you're building, and these STEM kits are a great way to teach and educate young and old model builders about history and the technologies that went into building these magnificent machines. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoy this content, please give this video a thumbs up. And also consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Your support is really appreciated. As always, feel free to engage with me in the comments and share this video with fellow enthusiasts. Before we jump into this kit, I want to remind you to check out my online shop. There, you can find a variety of scale model themed merchandise designed by yours truly, a fellow scale model builder. It's a great way to support the hobby and showcase your passion for scale models. Now that we've covered that, let's dive right in. For your reference, this is part number M6052. On the screen is a QR code that you can scan and be taken to the ATLANTIS website, where you can purchase one of these kits for yourself. I'll also leave a link to it in the description below as well. This kit was originally released by Monogram in 1959. It has been re-released several times since then. In 1983, with a new box, once again by Monogram. In 1991, it was re-released again, but this time under the Revell brand. And then this current reissue in 2022 by ATLANTIS as part of their STEM lineup of kits. This kit is in 1/12 scale with detailed parts from Curtiss Wright's official engineering drawings, and it's molded in 4 colors. It comes with a stub propeller and an adjustable service rack dolly, plus an 8-page illustrated booklet. There is information about the engine and the kit. The finished kit will be 6 inches in length, and it consists of 64 parts. On this side of the box, some artwork. On this side of the box, a nice vintage picture of the Cyclone 9 engine. And on the back of the box, not much else, and the link to ATLANTIS Models. All right, let's get this box opened. Okay, friends, so a lot of the parts are actually off the tree. So I know I've said it before, but this is specifically one of those times where you do not want to throw anything out until you're completed building your model. A lot of these loose parts, some of them are fairly small. So if you open the bag, take them out, and then toss the bag, you may find that you're missing a part, and it's probably in that bag. So make sure you keep all of your parts, make sure you kind of take an inventory of them, keep all the bags, keep everything in the box so you don't lose them. All right, so even though a lot of these parts fell off the tree, that's okay. It looks like everything's here. First, we're gonna show you this is like a soft vinyl kind of part, and these are all of the lines for the ignition. So you've got your low voltage lines, and then your coils, and then your high voltage lines that'll go to the spark plugs, and they're just on this one ring here. And actually there's some flash on here, but it's not bad. A little knife cutting will clean that up really quick. If you're gonna paint this part, you're gonna wanna use acrylics, water-based paints. Enamels will not stick to this very well. It will stick, but it also takes very long to dry, and I've just had better luck using acrylics on this type of paint. And some will flake off, I'm sure, but we can very easily touch that up. The next parts we'll go over here are the exhaust manifold, or no, I think this is the intake manifold actually. And we have our push rods, a part of our carburetor. These look like the wheels for the cart. Again, very little flash. Looks like they'll clean up really easily, and they're still really well molded considering how old this kit is. Here we have the other side of our prop. Here we have the two halves of the actual engine block. Here we have the front, I think this is the front, cover for the engine, for the block, and then the rear of the supercharger. These are the two halves to the body of the supercharger. On this sprue, we've got some more accessory parts. We've got our nameplate, which is about to fall off, which has fallen off there. And some other related parts, and the other half to our prop. Again, a little bit of flash, but nothing major at all. Two halves to what I believe is the oil pump. I could be wrong, we'll find out when we build it. Here we have the tops of the heads and our cylinders for the engine with the cooling fins. Really nice detail on these. And here we have the assorted pieces. We've got the other half of our carburetor, our nameplate, different parts. Here's our shaft where the propeller will fit over. And the other engine head. Really nice detail, actually. Yeah, looks good. And then finally we have our red parts, which is the engine stand that we'll build. I don't think I'm going to leave mine red. I've got some reference photos and none of them that I saw are red. They're either a yellow or a blue or even like a cockpit green kind of color. Either way, it looks pretty solid and well molded and pretty clean. Here we have our 8-page book about the Wright Cyclone 9 Radial aircraft engine. We've got some information here. Shows the airplanes that actually used it and when. It's really interesting. Some more information about a 4-cycle engine. Here's an exploded view of the engine. That's really cool. And then over here, it tells you which each part of that explosion is. So we've got our crankcase, power section, supercharger, oil pumps, ignition system, and fuel system. And then it actually calls out all the individual parts on the engine front and back. Really nice book. And again, these are great for educational purposes. I mean, this is just a great kit to teach people about things that they might not otherwise hear about. It's really important that we remember, you know, how they engineered these things way back when, and they can still be used today. Really awesome machinery. Here we have a nice little set of decals with our tags for the engine and for the display stand. Very nice. And here are the instructions, more about the engine, and then our stages. And we'll go through all these stages as we build the kit. And we've got some final pictures of the kit when it's done. Old style instructions, but still should work out pretty well. All right, friends, so I'm gonna clean off the bench, get some tools, and we are gonna get to the build. Okay, friends, to get started on this build, I'm gonna veer away from the instructions just a little bit. The reason is, step 1 shows us assembling the first cylinder, which has the cutaway to see the piston going up and down. Now we are going to use this, but because I'm painting this model, I want to do some pre-assembly of sub-assemblies beforehand so I can paint them and then assemble them later. So I'm going to go right to this step, which is assembling the rest of the cylinders, and I'm also going to pre-assemble a bunch of other sub-assemblies so that I can paint them, and then we'll come back and we'll start putting everything together. So I'm going to grab my tools and my parts and get to the build. And here we have it, friends, the completed Wright Cyclone Radial Engine C9HE by ATLANTIS Models. This was a really fun build for me. I really enjoy this topic, and the engine just came out looking really nice and pretty much how I envisioned it. I've actually seen a lot of these in the air and space museums in our area, so I'm familiar with them, but I used a lot of online photos as well, and I really like how this one turned out. So in my kit, I pretty much did my own thing paint-wise, as you can see, compared to the box, but that's okay. You can paint these any way you want it. And also, you could just put this together right out of the box without any paint, and it would still look okay. One thing I did change is I used these chains here instead of the string, like is suggested in the instructions, and I really like how that looks. I did paint my frame in kind of a cockpit green. I just wanted a different color. The blue-gray for the engine color came out really nice. The aluminum, the steel color for the exhaust. Yeah, it just came out really nice. And it also works, as you can see here, the piston, if you turn the shaft, the piston goes up and down as it should, which I think is really cool. So as far as the kit, in my opinion, it's a great kit. It's a great kit for anyone interested in this particular topic or just in engines in general. It's a really good educational tool for teaching young folks about these marvelous machines of the past and that are still in use today. And I just really think it's great that ATLANTIS has republished this kit so people can continue to build it and use it for educational purposes and just building it and enjoying it. I mean, it's a great looking kit. The only real challenges I had personally was the fit on the prop halves was not great, so I did spend some extra time sanding them and filling them. Also, and again, there's nothing they can really do about this, the material that they use on the ignition lines, the low and high voltage, it does not take to paint very well. But again, there's nothing they can really do about that. Maybe there's a better paint out there. I know enamel paint doesn't dry well on that, and it's really sticky. The acrylic paint I used, it sticks, but if you touch it and bend it, it just kind of flakes off. So there was a lot of touch-up needed, but once it's touched up, I mean, you're not going to be really bending them that much afterwards. It's just a really nice display piece. So once again, I think this kit is great for pretty much a wide spread of age groups and skill levels. For younger kids, I would say definitely some parental supervision would be required, but overall, just a wonderful kit. I would like to thank my friends at ATLANTIS for sending this into the channel for review. I really appreciate it, guys. If you all liked this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. So with that, this will wrap up this episode of the Wright Cyclone Radial Engine build. I highly suggest you guys go out and pick up one of these if you're interested in it. I'll leave a link in the description below and a scannable QR code on the screen. So as always, friends, be safe out there and go build something.